Tunnicliffe, top order batsman, bowler, wicket keeper, and more. We'll get into that conversation a little bit later on. Ladies, welcome to the studio, and a massive congratulations to you for your T20 Challenge trophy and the title. Congratulations or welcome.
Oh, thanks very much, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, what a pleasure. And you know what? I was reading the news a few days before the game you played that ended up putting you top of the log and bringing this trophy home. It was a busy weekend. I'm going to actually read what you said in the news just before. You said, the Western Province coach is confident on finishing the season on a high. So what an understatement. Just a few days later, you get to pose for this. So it's just a massive congratulations and to all of the province supporters that are listening today. Thank you and well done.
I know, brilliant. Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
So it's been a long slog, hard work, and I just want to say it's straight out. I love cricket. I've played it most of my life. And we never really saw many ladies playing the game. And now, as my son, who's only in primary school, is playing cricket, there's a girl or two or three in the team included with the boys. And they show the boys how to do it on many days. Why has it taken so long? I'd love to start with you, Faye. I mean, you're a member of the team. Why does it feel, to me, it feels like it's taken so long for ladies to be recognized as cricketers, to play competitive cricket, and now to eventually make it onto TV?
Yeah, I think, well, firstly, to hear that there's girls playing with the boys at school,
Yeah.
that's brilliant, because that's what I did. That's pretty much how I started my cricket career.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, like, we're kind of at a stage where it's better late than never. Now that, we've professionalized the women's game, we are getting TV time at a domestic level.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to push the standard. It's going to become more and more entertaining, and we're going to have boys and girls watching. We're going to have more people in the crowd. So, yeah, I think just for us to be a part of kind of the arrowhead leading the professionalism of the women's game is brilliant, and we're hopefully just going to go from strength to strength now.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're hoping for. I mean, and a massive congratulations to you as well. Also, Women's Coach of the Year, winning at the CSA Awards. So, I mean, you're clearly a woman who loves the cricket, knows the cricket, and is taking this fantastic team forward. I mean, and to see a lady at the helm as well, where before you'd often see a women's team with the men's coach. So this is also great. I mean, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, Jules, it feels amazing. As you said, I love cricket. I'm so passionate about it. I mean, same as Faye, I played with the boys growing up. I was 5 years old. I was the only girl amongst the cousins, So all of that is still happening. The girls have to play with the boys. But I mean, there's so much passion around it and interest around it with the girls and the boys. Watching our women's cricket, especially the Western Province women's team, there's massive support from the youngsters. And I think that just instills, that want to play and that want to carry on. And they've got people now within Cape Town to look up to, because a lot of the girls want to play for Western Province cricket.
Yeah, I think we all grew up like that. We want to play for province, whether you're a rugby player or a hockey player or a cricket player. And now to know the girls can aspire to that kind of a thing as well, and cricket at that. I mean, Faye, take us on your story, if you don't mind. I mean, you brought up the fact that you were playing at school and playing with the boys. And what were your dreams before it was even possible to be a professional women's cricketer? I mean, what was your dream previously? I mean, to where it has ended up now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't even know that kind of playing professionally was a thing at the time. I just sort of played. And the reason I started playing cricket at school was because one of my guy friends said, no, girls don't play cricket. So I told him, okay, well, tell the coach I'll be at the next training practice, and I rocked up and started playing. But yeah, before that, I think my aspirations, I wanted to go into something in nature, either nature conservation, or my dad was in a band for 17 years, so I also wanted to go into music. So yeah, cricket was never on the radar. And then I got into the Western Province setup when I was about 13, then moved over to Boland, and then came back home. When did I move back? 2019, I think. Yeah. And then, we've kind of just gone from strength to strength, and now it's obviously aspirations to always play at the highest level.
I mean, you've tasted that before. I mean, what is that like in terms of lighting that fire of saying, okay, it's happened before, I'm part of the emerging SA women's team, and I mean, how are you pushing yourself to get to that top and stay there?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is getting there and staying there. I think I kind of had a bit of a wake-up call when I was dropped from the team. I was young, and I like to think that I've kind of learned a couple of lessons now. And the goal will always be to get up there and stay there. And now the level of women's cricket around the world is just elevating yearly. So to kind of keep up with that, it's just important to maintain the fitness and maintain the kind of mental strength. Form, you're kind of in and out of form all the time. So just maintaining that at domestic level and then trying to believe that you can contribute at the high level when the call-up does happen.
Yeah, that's amazing. Claire, I want to come back to you here. I mean, you've got a strong team. You did not as well as you had hoped in the 50-over format, but still in the top 3. I mean, that's fantastic. And then walking away with this trophy, which is glistening here under the lights in the studio. It's stunning. Talk to me about mentorship, because I think that's such a big deal, because it's not this massive past of women's cricket to look back on. It's fairly new in that regard, but still top players. I mean, Nadine de Klerk coming out of Western Province, Delemi Tucker. I mean, these are representatives of the SA women's team. I mean, how do they do together with you and management in lifting up the other ladies in the group and even those in the junior level?
Yeah, and I think it's not just Nadine and Dalmi that come back and they pass on information. I mean, Faye sitting here next to me as well, because she's been overseas as well. So with that knowledge, being overseas, playing a little bit of club cricket there as well, coming back, speaking to our juniors, even speaking within our women's space to our senior players, there's a lot of conversation always happening. And obviously some of it good, some of it not great, but majority of the time it's super positive. And that's the thing about our team, is that we're always backing each other. And if we do have new information, it is shared to those that would like to listen and take it in. So those that do listen, obviously try and put it into play and in training, and then obviously in the matches. At the end of the day, the more conversations that are had within the space, especially with our youth coming in, is better for me as a coach, because it cuts my coaching in half, if I can put it that way, because they are passing information over that is quality, and then the youth are taking it in and trying to execute on that new information that they've received.
Faye, I mean, what's one thing playing for your province as you are, it's another thing wanting to get into the national squad, but at the end of the day, and you're seeing it a lot in the men's game and you have for ages, it's really about how can I make the most out of this career? And we've seen the 100 tournament, we're seeing the IPL's equivalent for the ladies, and we're getting to see it on TV every day. I mean, that must also open up an opportunity for you to say, I want to make it to the pro tiers, absolutely, but there's more.
Yeah, there's so many big leagues around now, and, women are playing cricket year-round, which it's also opening up opportunities for ladies, like Coach said, to go overseas, play there and bring back their knowledge, and then again it's just going from strength to strength. But the big leagues, I think those will always be a goal and a dream. I mean, to play in front of an IPL crowd would just that would be a dream come true.
I mean, I'm thinking about the T20 World Cup that took place here, and had the opportunity to watch the game at Newlands, and to have a fully packed Newlands and people screaming their heads off. We were sitting at home and it was so tense because it was such a great display. And to see that happening on our telly with our ladies, I mean, so we've got more reason as sport-loving South Africans to get excited about what's happening in women's cricket. And I think that must be encouraging to you that's made a career out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that home crowd at Newlands, it gave me chills. I mean, everyone singing the national anthem and standing up, and a couple of the ladies were quite emotional as well. And I mean, granted, like it was amazing. It was insane to watch.
Yeah, and how amazing to be able to play at Newlands, call that your home ground. People come all around the world just to see a game at Newlands, and you get to train there and play there and look at that every day. What's it for you getting together with the management now? It's the end of the season per se in South Africa. What's the preparation looking like for the next season with all the info and the successes of this season?
Well, firstly, a nice little break.
Yes, enjoy that.
And then we'll go into kind of a little management meeting, correlate all the info we've got between SNC, physio, myself, with stats, and my assistant coach, and we'll collate that all together, and then sit with the ladies in the kind of off season into the new season, and then we'll just take it from there. We'll know where, especially in a 50 over space, where we would need to improve and be better at in order to reach the goal that we want to, and then in our T20 space, where we can maintain or be better at certain aspects so we can retain this T20 trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? It's lekker being a province supporter and finding so much success. We need it so bad. What does it look like for you keeping an eye on the junior level? Like, you've got your ladies, you've got the Western Province team. How does it work to keep your eye on the high school level cricket to see, okay, here's a rising star? How does that work?
So it's actually my first time only heading up the women's space. So now I'm the professional women's head coach. Before, I was the women's and girls pipeline head coach.
Okay.
Yeah, so my eye was on from under 13, under 16,
wow,
under 19.
okay.
Yeah. So I used to take the under 19 and the senior women's. So those were my babies. But so that's how I know that what is happening in the pipeline. But what does help is when I get phone calls or WhatsApp messages just to ask me, I've seen this girl here at this school. Do you know about her? So they'll just ask, please, what is her name? Then it'll be either be yes or no.
Yeah.
And then if no, they'll give information. Like these are the festival dates or these are the trial dates or whatever it is. Please send a name in. If it doesn't come through the school, it needs to come through you. Because sometimes it does get lost kind of in the school system to send names through. But when it's not a massive train smash, there are other ways to send the player's name in. So that's basically how I keep my finger on the pulse. But it does help that others out there know that I'm watching and that they can just pop me a message and say, please have a look at this one.
Yeah, we love that. I mean, that's really what you aspire to in primary school level. I mean, I was listening to the neighbors. I was busy outside and the two boys across the road, the one's like, okay, what team are you? Okay, I'm the Stormers, and he's got his rugby ball under the arm. And so we aspire to represent our province and our country from a young age. It's amazing to keep an eye on the pipeline. I just want to stick with you, Claire. And if you've just joined us, I've got Claire Terblanche, head coach of the Western Province women's team, and Faye Tunnicliffe, top order batsman for Western Province. And I want to talk about your fantastic stats of the season before we wrap things up this morning. Just Claire, the role your faith plays in leading this incredible team. I mean, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I am highly God-led. I ended up being in Cape Town because I received word and tried to ignore it, but you can never ignore it.
Yeah.
Packed up within 2 weeks and I was in Cape Town without a job, anything like that in 2017.
Wow.
On my way down Salaris Pass, a friend of mine messaged me and asked, are we in Cape Town yet? Am I in Cape Town yet? And I said, I'm just coming through Salaris. And she said to me, can you start on Monday at an events company that does mountain biking and trail running?
Okay.
So that's how I started without a job, just to get into that. I was there for a few months. And then the Western Province coach position became available and applied there. And now I'm still here.
Look at
yeah.
you. What
so
a great
very
story.
much God-led.
Oh, we love that. It's a story of success. And if you're listening, if you've got a child, grandchild who loves cricket, just encourage them. There's a space now for boys, for girls, mixed teams, girls' teams. And who knows, you could be just like Faye here across from me, who's made it her business, her job to be able to play cricket. I mean, who could ask for more than that? That's incredible. Just talk about your successes. I mean, you've done so well with the bat this season. Your average is looking fantastic. I mean, it's almost 50, your batting average. I mean, that's incredible. So tell us a little bit more about how's your game evolved over time to be able to be in this space?
Yeah, I think it came down to just taking it. I've always taken cricket seriously, but now that it's my job, I'm taking it a whole lot more seriously. I really, really kind of focus on my nutrition and my fitness and just kind of my work ethic, making sure that I practice my craft every day, which is obviously batting.
Yeah.
And I actually just fell in love with it, within the last year. I went over to the UK for about a month last year and then came back and realized, that this is actually where I want to be playing my cricket. And I just fell in love with it. I didn't think I would ever be one of those people that wakes up every day and says, oh my goodness, I get to do cricket as my job. But here I am, which is super cool. It's the biggest blessing. And I've just really been enjoying it. I've been loving being around my teammates and playing for the team, playing for the badge, and playing for kind of the bigger purpose, which is always going to be to play at the highest level.
Yeah, of course.
And really just kind of pushing for that. And if it's meant to be, it'll be.
So for all of us that wonder what it's like in the professional sporting world, what does a break look like for you in off season? I mean, it's you're not going to go and book yourself into a resort now for the next 6 months. I mean, realistically, what does off season look like for you?
So I don't like the term off season because I just want to bat. No, but I do work at a gym as well, so I manage a gym. So that's kind of something that's completely away from cricket, so I can just go and work there and, I don't know, maybe lift some weight sometimes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we'll probably just be focusing on kind of getting that mental break, which is the biggest thing. Physically, I don't really like sitting still for too long. But it'll probably just be, again, focusing on building back up the kind of pre-season fitness level. And then when we do eventually get into off-season training with the team, then again it'll be more focused on sort of fitness and power and stuff before we get into our cricket skills.
When does the call go out from you to say, come on, back together, let's hit the road, let's hit the gym? I mean, what does that look like? When does that start up again for you?
Tomorrow.
So they'll probably get they'll probably have an S&C program throughout May just to, maintain or do what they need to do. But probably around June, we're looking at to get into the swing of things, into a little bit of off-season. But like Faye says, it's not quite an off-season. So it's the hardest work will come in June.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. It's Claire Terblanche, head coach of the Western Province women's team. Also, Faye Tunnicliffe, you've been able to see them and the beautiful trophy on your screen over there. One of the top batsmen for the Western Province women's team. Congratulations again and well done. And what a pleasure to have the trophy here in the studio. Be blessed, and may this be the start of many great conversations and maybe a green and gold shirt the next time we have a conversation. And who knows where you might be heading off, where that might be in part of God's plan for your life. So thank you so much. What a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And to you that have had the opportunity to check it out on Facebook, thanks for joining us as well. Some music from Unita Du Plessis. On the other side of this, we'll greet you and let you free into your Tuesday.
Here, ek het U so lief. Daar's niemand soos U nie. Ek wil net lewe om U lief te hê.